Hello, my life path number 5s. Okay, so on this left side over here is going to be how to use your strengths of the life path number 5. And this side is going to be when and if you go into your shadow aspects of your life path number 5, what will be the lessons needed and why you will need to enter that particular shadow phase. Both spreads are the same, just one is looking at the lighter attributes, other one is looking at the shadow, and then we will merge the story for your purpose or your lessons. So let me lay out the cards. Before I get into your spread, I'm going to read you some of my notes for the life path number 5 archetype. Life path number 5, your key to your personality is freedom. You love travel, adventure, variety, and meeting new people. You have the curiosity of a cat and you long to experience all of life. You love to be involved in several things at the same time as long as you are not tied down to any one area. You like change, new things, and new horizons. You make friends easily. Your personality is upbeat and often inspiring. You have a way with words and an uncanny ability to motivate others. Highly suitable vocations could be sales, promotions, entertainment, investment, science, medicine, the occult, travel, anything with verbal skills. Life paths often are comfortable in front of an audience. You are usually sensual and love to taste all of life. Sex, food, and other sensory experiences are essential to the enjoyment of your life. You likely lack discipline and order. You can be impulsive, doing or expressing things you regret later. Freedom and a need for adventure sometimes are not properly controlled by those born with the life path number 5, which can cause problems with drug abuse, overindulgence in food or sex, or general abuse of the gift of life. Discipline and focus are the true keys to your success. Without these, many of these tasks you begin will remain unfinished, and you will fail to realize the true fruits of your abilities. You may have been perceived as a wild child by adults and as a source of concern by your family. However, you are often a late bloomer, and you need to experience life before you can truly know and commit to your heart's desire. Your challenge is to learn the true meaning of freedom. Change is constant in our world. Keep your body in shape and limber. The flexibility and durability of your body will promote security and confidence within. Once you find your niche, the motivation and inspiration you supply to others will bring you much in return. Okay, so let's see what the main energy is to master this life path number 5 with keeping all of those things in mind. Creative energy, needing some discipline and organization, possibly some hard work, a sense of responsibility in some areas. The box. This is interesting because if this life path number 5 primarily deals with, your sense of freedom and needing that discipline and focus, it's this beautiful sense of freedom that I'm getting with the colors and this restrictiveness within this box of you wanting to burst out of the restraints, in a sense, or the normalities of being a human. I feel that they're trying to tell you that the way to master this life path energy is for you to be able to contain the freedom, knowing that is always available to you, but again, coming back to that discipline and focus, that needle eye, that source energy being dropped into that container of you, the self of you, of allowing yourself to see that you're not actually contained in anything. It is a matter of utilizing the energy for it to take form in a way that can move your intentions, goals forward. Yeah, and this need and want to break free, like I was talking about, from the norm, from the expected, from the norm, from the known, I should say. And this box can be anything, the way that you think, how you were raised, your parents' expectations, your own expectations, jobs' expectations. So mastering that is about, again, it's something about this natural way of you having this freedom energy, but it's about the discipline and focus and where you choose to use it. To allow yourself to break out of that rigidity of certain areas of your life. And there will be a continued effort needed or necessary to breaking through each layer of the construct, you know? Because there will always be some sort of box or label or categorization that happens, and it's a matter of us having the courage and the bravery to step forward with our true authentic self, which is your freedom, loving, expressive, open, caring self. You know? Beautiful. What's the purpose? Grays, the short grays, timid, misunderstood, and shy. The short grays talk about, of course, they're timid, misunderstood, and shy, but they're underneath somebody else's rule in a sense. No, they are under that draconian rule. So they're intelligent and telepathic, but again, feeding off of something else instead of somebody's own spirit, energy, life force. You know, some of them are clones, so they don't have a true essence of a soul, in a sense, in a way. So there again, it's reminding me of this box. It's like, how do I master this life path number 5? It's for me to get out of the rigidity of the way human life has been, or the constructs of how I've been raised, or the ability to generate something in my life based on a previous thought, etc. There's a need for a change and a shift within that. Kabbalah, Tree of Life, integration, life lessons, and emanation, exactly. To be able to integrate into a better route, you know, to gain the lesson of no longer being the subservient to anybody's wishes, in a sense, but allowing oneself to take control of oneself. The emancipation and emanation, the lighting the way, the illumination of who you are. And accepting all parts of you too, the shadow and the light. Beautiful. Okay, let's see what lessons need to be integrated. Number 14, initiation, and the Count Saint Germain. (17) The Lookout. A lot of majors. Archangel Gabriel. Number 3. Seven of Roses, The Journey. They're saying this life path journey is an initiation into the discovery of yourself by literally burning out the parts of you that are not vibrating at a high frequency with love. They're giving me that fractal energy of a sun beaming through a glass that can light something on fire. You know, that source of love energy in a way that is burning out these old versions, the box. It's crumbling the old to allow you to step into seeing the light in the path that you've chosen, to take the lessons from your ancestors and your past, and to journey forward to find new ones to blend with what you've already experienced, understood, gained. They're saying it's a welcoming home, a welcoming in back to love, back to the source energy, out of the cold, heating and igniting you from within. It is a definite rising of the phoenix through those burning ashes to allow you to step on the journey that's going to be more satisfying and fulfilling for you, more full of light, more full of freedom, more full of joy. So to master this life path is for you to understand this particular box, for you to break out of it, and then structure it in a way that does not exactly, it feels like this, structure it in a way that is similar to this Kabbalah tree, as opposed to this construct of building up in this tight, very rigid space, very narrow space, where there's openings here for travel, in other words, in multiple directions. That's the best analogy I can give you based on what I'm being shown. They're also asking you to look out for the signs, of this initiation into the mind, as Archangel Gabriel is one for communication in particular, of the constructs of the mind, how you were raised, built, think about, how you journey into your mind. Look out for the signs that we are sending you for this ascension, because it is through that burning of, is what I'm getting, that allows you to find that sun on that journey. That's beautiful. All right, let's get some more meat. Angel, beautiful. Spiritual guidance, protection from harm. That's Archangel Gabriel. You got that extra twice. And Saint Germain. Got a saint and an angel. Beautiful. Over the lookout. Club. Someone will try to make you do something against your will. And that's that lookout. Over that, So it's like something needs to be burnt away. Look out for something troubling, or again, Spirit is sending you signs for like a warning for when this energy, the short grays might take over and you get stuck and feel so confined that you don't see your way out, but angels got you. Communicate clearly with them. Door. Opportunities are waiting for you. That's what Archangel Gabriel is saying. There's an opportunity through all of the strife, through trying to understand the purpose behind the box, really. Purse, pay attention to your finances. So again, this manipulation in some sense can be from work or inheritance or just the way you view money in general. There's might be too much of a hold on it. Again, confining. There's a lot of that is wanting to break out of, to allow yourself to step into that freedom, but with discipline and focus. That's the part of the lesson. Spirit is there fully protecting you along this journey, helping you to transform these energies into one of a full life lesson that is integrated, understood, and begins to emanate out from you. Beautiful. Something to embrace. Death, the transformation of the self, the emergence out of the box, the death of that version of you. Wow, that's amazing. Something to release. Transmute, to the integration, to that transmutation of the self and understanding. So releasing, I'm getting this for your senses, releasing that out into the world, what has transmuted, what has been integrated, what has been learned. And I'm also getting a sense of release your need or the feel that you have to do more than is necessary for this transformation and transmutation to occur successfully. There's a sense of surrendering to it. It's a sense of stepping back to be able to look at it objectively, for you to know a clearer way forward. Something for you to keep in mind. This is probably going to connect with the transmute while you move forward. Beautiful. Parents, do what you damn well like, but always do it to the utmost. I feel like that's what might be necessary though for you, my life path number 5. It's like you have to be this expressive self to your utmost instead of being partially that, one way or the other. And it's like, just do it to the utmost for you to understand and know, to go to this, not full extremes, but the particular extreme that is comfortable and safe enough for you to understand the lesson instead of getting sucked into the lesson. Never lose touch with the colorful side. Again, the freedom, 100%. Your dream home lies outside of time. Wow. I'm getting that transmutation of the self, right? Of finding that source energy again, of connecting back to your own potential and the way that you want to live, but now using it in a more, I guess they're giving me like an adult way to do it. Okay, so let's go into your shadow side of life path number 5. Okay, first one out is, if you get into the shadow and you manipulate the energy, you go into that hunter energy. I'm hearing that you'd be blindly running in the dark towards the same thing you were reaching for before. It's like you end up being so overly consumed or vigilant about, not necessarily that vigilance bad, but overly consumed with finding something, heading towards something, aiming for something so specific that you lose sight of, you can't tell the forest from the trees. That's the energy. But there is also a sense of trusting the intuition and the guidance within that is leading you there. There is both. Again, there is always a reason, right? So you will still be on that search for that transformation within self, no matter which area or when, and in which area of your life that this happens. That would be the main impetus behind the movement, behind the energy. Let's see what the purpose is. Starseed, self, memories, and identity. Yeah, again, recognizing who one is, trusting the intuition, trusting what you've learned in the past, finding out who one is, this death transformation out of this box to hunt for the self. Even if it ends up becoming blinding for you to go, you're that determined. Maybe that's the reason why I chose vigilance. And the Alpha Centaurians, foresight, planning, and strategy. Yep, it's trying to gain the strategy. I think this is just a matter of needing more experience. Did they not say something along those lines in my notes? Let me double check. You need to experience life before you can truly know and commit to one's heart's desire. And that being said, this is part of it. It's for you to gain that foresight, for that strategy, that planning, the self-identity, restoring the memory of your past selves, etc. Trusting in the wisdom now. That's what the shadow side would do for you. It would propel you into this particular archetype of, it feels like an accelerated learning curve. If you go into that shadow aspect, lies. When you go into the shadow aspect. They corrected me. When you go into the shadow aspect. Interesting. Okay, let's see the lesson that needs to be integrated. I'm going to lay them all out first, and I'll show you them. First one out is 8 of Scrolls, Paths Unknown. Yeah, the path to discover who you are through this initiation, knowing that you are protected. It really does feel like something is pulling and guiding you. And eventually in the shadow aspect, you learn how to trust that more readily, more steadily, more quickly. Then you have rebirth. That start, again, that restart, that looking forward, that looking out. The death, that regeneration of self, to burn away, to rise from the ash, like we talked about, that birth. Beautiful. Leads you into the King of Keys over Archangel Gabriel and Opportunities Waiting, which is that practical, stable, again, comfortable, confident, knows one's worth, capable of anything, seeing the possibilities in all, acquiring one's own wealth. That leads you into the Four of Roses in reverse, views of the ego. Again, recognizing one's patterns, learning the lesson, integrating all of it, stepping out of the ego, understanding why this was necessary, why it is necessary for you to go through these types of dark nights of the soul. For the shadow aspect to play out, for the fuller emergence of the whole, to transmute what you've learned into something even better, and it keeps going. There's an ongoing evolution, and you're on that wave of progress, period. That's amazing, life path number 5. Let's get some more meat. Career. So paths unknown. Yeah, so there's something about that within how you live, how you generate money. We talked about that. Living outside of the box, doing things unordinary, being unorthodox with certain approaches, to allowing yourself to be guided by spirit. Over birth and lookout. Fox, shrewdness and resourcefulness, especially in business. There you go. That rebirth within self. It's a way of moving forward, of operating oneself, of gaining one's own wealth, abundance, etc. Living by one's own means. Barrel, you feel something is lacking in your life, perhaps love, money, or goals. I feel like this is what this does, right? Like being in the shadow is because you fully integrate this lesson of knowing where these pitfalls may lay. You know now what's important, and I don't feel like it's like lacking. It's like now I know what I can go after. My ego has been put to rest in a sense that was keeping me stuck somewhere. Again, whether that was thoughts, an actual way of being, living, working, etc. Hills, obstacles to overcome. Yeah, again, like we said, this is now the obstacle is to get to what the other thing that has been missing, so to speak, or what you've discovered on this enlightenment journey that you are on in the shadow element. Also saying, when I was talking about before, being blinded by your own goal. You know, you might get too, again, with that rigid, right, get too stuck in something that you want something so badly that it blinds the outside. Like I said, you can't see the trees from the forest. So they're just bringing that reference up again one more time. They're also saying that maybe the obstacle still has some work once you come out of the shadow side to not to diminish the ego entirely also, is what they're telling me. The ego is useful for you. It's a tool, but it should not be controlled. You should not be controlled by the ego. And that's what might be where you go into the shadow side and you let go of it and you surrender it fully, but then you end up coming out a little too malleable. Let's put it that way. You know, you still need some of that structure, that discipline, that focus. So keep that in mind. Okay, something to embrace in the shadow side. Dare to dream in reverse. They're saying that believing that you can get what you're after. Don't give up on that dream, on that whatever it is, the initial seed. That initial seed they're bringing me to. You know, don't give up on that particular spark of what brought you here on earth, your mission, regardless of all of the shadow or setbacks or obstacles you have to overcome. Continue to dare to dream. Release the fact that your dream cannot happen. It just needs to be matured. It needs to be refined. It needs to be polished, and it needs to be clear. Something to release. Taking the risk. Yeah, it's like release needing to feel that, oh, maybe I'll do it this way. I'll do it this way. Change. No. Spirit is like, just trust. Trust in this particular process that what you actually want will come in a better form for you. You have to take the risk, in a sense, to transmute this, but that's the only risk you're taking is on spirit, is on yourself, not on other external things that might speed up something for you, so to speak, in any context of this in your life. Wow, amazing. Okay, let's see what's to help you move forward, something to think about that will probably connect with take risk. Iggy Pop. Don't waste time growing up. Interesting. See? This is the shadow, right? I feel like it's keeping that spark. That's what they're talking about. But there is a maturing of that idea that needs to formulate. Period. turn rejection into an art form. Absolutely. This is what this whole shadow side is doing, is making you look at yourself in a different way, of seeing your full resourcefulness and your abundant ability within the self. If you want inspiration, you have to sneak up on it and catch it unawares. That's it. Grab life by the horns and just ride it. Ride that wave. But really recognize your own awareness while you grab onto opportunities out of the flow of things, you know? Out of sort of releasing the uncalculated risks, in a sense, and taking the spiritual risks. And even with this dare to dream in the reverse, right, something to embrace, they're telling me to turn that into the art form, this rejection of whatever you may have felt or your way of being. It's like, how do I create this in a better way? This is that goal of going into the shadow to find a better way, to birth a new way. Wow, my life path number 5s, you guys are doing the work. It feels like a constant uphill battle, but it's not a hill that's unsurmountable. You know, it's not a mountain. They are just hills. So continue to keep fighting and pushing forward, because this is a beautiful self-realization once you allow yourself to merge both sides of what was controlled by circumstance, people, life, etc., and your thoughts, and what you now can recognize where your power lies in what has been contributing to you either feeling at the mercy of something else other than your own personal desires and spirit's desires, of course. Okay, my beautiful life path number 5, I hope that was insightful. I hope that gave you some information about yourself. Please let me know. Give me some feedback. I'd much appreciate it. I hope I get the chance to read for you again. Until next time, keep watering your lives. I love ya. Ciao. Hello, my life path number 6. All right, so I'm gonna put your number over here. This one side, the left side over here is going to look at how to use your strengths and your attributes of the life path number 6. And this side will be when and if you go into the shadow aspects of life path number 6, what are the lessons being learned, etc., the purpose of that. So exact same spread, just looking at the different side of the coin. So we're going to start off with the strengths. Okay, my life path number 6, I'm going to read some of my notes so we get sort of a breakdown of your character, or parts of your character, when it comes to the life path number 6. You possess a great compassion and you seek to be of service to others. You have concerns for the downtrodden. You are a healer and a helper to others. Frequently you offer a shoulder for others to cry on. Your task in life is to develop the tools necessary to be truly helpful to others rather than to simply be a sympathetic ear. You must find the balance between help and interference. Learn the delicate art of the counselor who knows when to leave the struggle to others and when to avoid taking away the necessary experiences and lessons of life. You are well equipped to support and ground others in times of trial. You often fill the void left by others, and you do not turn away from personal sacrifice. However, the love others bestow upon you is your well-deserved reward. You seek marriage, and you are often a wonderful parent, offering warmth, protection, understanding to children. You're generous, kind, and attractive. You're often admired and even adored. Sometimes that baffles you. You're humble. You are humble, and yet you carry a deep pride. But you will have to work to stay in shape. Seek out physical exercise and limit the sweets and dairies you crave. Do not let sentimentality influence your decisions, especially those involving the choices of a spouse. You need to be needed, but you must learn to discriminate between those who you can help, and others who are made weaker by your care. The temptation and the danger for you is to think of yourself as the survivor of the world, carrying the burdens of others on your shoulders. You are blessed with musical talent, as well as talent in the visual and performing arts. Your creativity, though, may be suppressed due to your willingness to sacrifice or your inability to fully appreciate your talents. You also have an enormous talent in business. You have a great deal of charm and charisma. You use it effectively to attract the people and the support you need. Other vocations may be in any area of healing, teaching, hospitality, government institutions, and anything related to animals. So that is your character breakdown. Let's see what the main archetype or the main energy spirit wants to address when it comes to your strengths. Life path number 6. The ring. Pretty fitting, as they said, like needing to be needed, but trying to find that balance between, you know, when it's useful or when it's taking away from the experience, or when the people have to go through their own struggle. But wanting commitment, wanting unity, wanting harmony. You're already balanced as it is. So wanting to bring things in completions. Stability also I'm getting a very warm kind of feeling. So your strength is to bring things together in balance, to bring in balance, to bring in harmony. So let's see the purpose of this particular strength. Alchemy, the Philosopher's Stone, infinity, destiny, and magic. Beautiful. Exactly. It is to bring the part of the purpose is it is a part of you to learn how to alchemize and balance out within yourself when too much of me giving is detrimental to myself and to others, even though it is coming entirely from a place of love. It's also saying that you have a great capacity and capabilities of harmonizing discontent within groups or the divergent forces that might be around in any particular situation. Awesome. You have a particular, of course, this magic about you. And it's from source. It's this infinity, this everlasting type of giving force that you are. But Spirit's wanting you to learn how to really alchemize that and just balance it out. That's all. Then we have crop circles, messages, curiosity, and signs. Yeah, so just looking out for your own particular patterns, how your messages are delivered and received. You know, paying attention to the subtleties of certain reactions or environments within yourself also. And they're bringing me back to balancing the delicacies between these energies. And it's within the energies within yourself too, of wanting to be that nurturer so much that it creates situations that could be avoided if you just allowed yourself to pull back sooner or saw the patterns quicker in certain situations is what they're giving me. So that's the purpose here. It's like this is a humongous strength, and you're bringing in this to people for them to recognize their own signs, their own patterns, to be curious about life, to find their own infinite wisdom and magic within themselves, you know, bringing in that balance within themselves. You're a perfect example of that. But Spirit is also asking you to look at that within yourself and remind yourself to keep that eye open when it comes to the ever-evolving spirit that you are. Okay, so this was your purpose, yeah? So let's see what lessons need to be integrated. We have the Queen of Keys in reverse, which is Pentacles. The Two of Scrolls, Two Worlds. That's Two of Swords, or the equivalent of. Four of Forces, Spring, Autumn. Four of Wands, equivalent of. And the Eight of Keys in reverse, the Master Artisan, Pentacles. I think it's exactly what we've already discussed or have already touched upon. The Queen of Keys in the reverse is giving me that feeling of sort of not trusting one's abilities in a sense, or capabilities for that matter, in some way, shape, or form, or not committing to it in some way, in a more rooted way, you know? And when we're going into this Two of Scrolls of the being in two worlds, again, we were talking about this balance, right? Of balance of how much is too much giving and when does it become a problem as opposed to a helpful aid. And so being of two worlds is like, this is not grounded yet within you. What we have already mentioned. I hope this is making sense. And the Four of Forces, which we talked about, the divergent forces, right? The opposite energies or the conflicting energies that are within you and within certain situations in your life. This is needing to be worked on still. There's more effort that needs to be made when it comes to that energy. And again, because of being in two worlds, we are not able yet to stay within, I'm getting like that middle line of that in-between and changing of seasons, which is that balance of everything in harmony and everything has its cycle, right? Its own message, its own sign. And that master artisan is like, it's not been mastered yet. And this is what the goal is. How do we master being our life path number 6 in this particular incarnation, right? This is the goal of the reading anyways. So this is what they're saying to you, that what lesson needs to be integrated of being a life path number 6 is, how am I balancing these energies of how I give, of how I choose to show generosity, love, care to myself and to others and my surroundings and everything that I do. So Spirit is asking you to just keep rooting in this and knowing and being aware. That's what the crop circles are. It's like looking for those signs and being aware of your own particular patterns of not being personally offended, let's say, in certain situations, and just looking at it as a, okay, it's an evaluation for myself. I may not agree with the evaluation in the moment, but I still have to look at it, read it, digest it, because it is somebody else's projection or opinion for that matter, you know? So just take it in. It's about the lesson learning, right? The lessons needing to be learned. And I'm also getting like more effort needs to be put in that, like there's more concentration that needs to be put into finding those patterns within you, because it feels like you may not be fully aware of when too much is too much, or when you've, you know, quote unquote crossed the line, in a sense of it being more problematic than helpful. Okay, let's get some more meat about this situation. Your lessons, affairs with family, tree. When I was talking about rooting, right? Well, let's flip them out first. Rat, someone working against you behind your back. Interesting. Seahorse, family matters. Shucks. Okay, pile 6. Life path 6. Bird, perched, waiting for news, package, letter. This card doesn't come out very often. Interesting, life path 6. So I'm getting it has to do with for majority, it has to do with how we were raised, how we are uprooting ourselves from where we came from. And I feel this someone is working against you behind your back. I actually feel like it's you. I feel like you're somewhat self-sabotaging yourself because of the programming you may have had on what is, you know, let's say for example, this is hypothetical of course. Okay, let's say for example, your environment, your situation, whatever that is, they're telling you like, this is what makes a good person. You should never talk back, you know? You should be quiet and submissive always in these situations. Or, you know, anybody who doesn't believe in God is the devil. You know, like there's just certain things that we don't even know how they get instilled in us until we actually pause and look. And there's something about that I feel that it could be technically your immediate surroundings or family or whoever that is being the main rat, so to speak, which can be a collective of them. Yeah, it doesn't have to be like one person. I'm not feeling that per se. It definitely could be, but I'm not feeling that so much. It feels like a collective of energies that have sort of been imprinted on you is the energy I'm getting. And this is where you're needing to break out of, you know, and it's waiting for news, a package, a letter. And this is what needs to be integrated until you allow yourself to find that balance between what is detrimental to you and to the way that you were raised. When you can resist When you can stop resisting the conflict within you, this is when this merging of the balance will come in. You know, this is when that strength will be at its freaking peak, when you have mastered that life path 6. That's the energy that I'm getting. Interesting. Okay, let's see what needs to be released. Something that needs to be embraced. The shadow in reverse. I'm getting that you've been ignoring the shadow. That's what I'm hearing. They just said you've been ignoring the parts of you that have made you feel small. You have built up an armor that has protected you, but has also made you vulnerable to yourself. The news you're waiting on is one of self-acceptance, is finding the appreciation in how you give and being able to give to the people who will be able to receive that and give it fully. Family matters can be a sore spot for you. They said forgive them and move on. Obviously, we know this is not so easy. Once you recognize your patterns, once you address your shadow, you will feel freer. That was a download for you guys. Interesting. Okay, something that needs to be released. Higher perspective. I'm getting like thinking that you know better in a sense. Like you know, like meaning that you know how it's going to play out. It's like trying to look at it again. Maybe the higher perspective is when they were talking about family, forgive and move on, you know, it's like look at it from a higher perspective. So release the hold of what this might be creating within your characteristics, preventing you from mastering your life path number 6 of being that harmonious, beautiful, infinite, magical, curious being. So look at this whole situation from a higher perspective of how do I balance these energies within me? That's the key. Okay, something to think of as you're moving forward. Helpful energy is probably going to connect to this. We got Bob. One love. It says, a small axe can fell the tallest tree. So you know what I'm getting from that? I'm getting that you are able to cut down or cut through whatever has been, you know, not helpful for you or no longer useful for you. Like they said, taking down that armor now because you're afraid almost of yourself, to a degree, you know, of confronting yourself. So it's like a small axe can fell the tallest trees, meaning that no matter how tiny the axe is, if I put in enough effort and diligence, I will be able to break this down, to get through this void, this blockage, this maze. The fruits of Babylon are rotten to the core. So it's like, this is what they're making me feel like. It's like there's something about this particular home, family, community, environment that is not working. And it's not helping you evolve in the way that your life path needs you to evolve because you cannot give in the way that you want to give. So with that being said, if you can't fully give in that way, they're asking you, like we talked about, to how do I balance these energies? How do I recognize sooner possibly that this is not going to be compatible, or I have to accept what is and move and find my like mind, my new tribe, a new destiny, alchemizing it into my own reality. And everything that is holy is among us here on earth. A higher perspective, you know what it is, you know what you need to do, you know what you need to look at. You know, so keep that in mind while you're moving forward. You have everything you need to be able to accomplish this task of releasing whatever this particular rat is in your life, you know, that's preventing you from fully mastering your 6. Okay, beautiful. Let's go into your shadow. All right, let's see the shadow aspects. What will be the main energy? the sustainer. What I'm getting the most intuitively is it'll make you feel or keep you stuck in a particular box or frame of mind. But it doesn't mean that it won't bring you wisdom within that experience either. Yeah, it feels like you will find a perspective or a way to, again, maintain this love energy, this provider energy, this, again, very much the life path 6, you know, the need to be needed. But I feel that the shadow side for you is almost necessary, is what I'm really getting for my life path 6. Like because it's bringing me back to this, because the shadow being in reverse, it's like something that needs to be embraced, and you haven't been embracing it, so hence the shadow would be really helpful for you, so you can contain and understand who you are. Not even contain it in a way that is rigid or restrictive, but molded by your own hand, you know, by your own experiences and by your own output. You just have this beautiful way of just being able to give naturally. And like I said, your cup is always full somehow. It's like this magic, unending flow of support, love, and care. So you'll be able to find a way to sustain that. This is interesting because out of all the life paths I've done so far, this is the first time that I'm getting this energy as like an extra positive for the shadow element. Because it's difficult because you're resisting it now. Like that's why I feel like it's coming up like that for you. That's cool. All right, let's see your purpose. The pentagram. Harmony, protection, and idealism. Yeah. Trying to bring things into harmony, while protecting what you've already gathered, learned, gained, given. And a type of idealism is, again, how you're giving and receiving, and also how much is too much, how much is preventing the person from experiencing what they may need to experience, you know? Or yourself, for that matter. Beautiful. And then Vesica Pisces, divine feminine, birthing, fertility. Yeah, that full nurture energy. It's all over the board on your life path number 6, you know? Seeing beyond, again, that higher perspective. Seeing beyond, being able to understand, containing, sustaining the peace, the harmony, the love, the protection, the divine energy, the divine feminine energy of the nurture. It's awesome. Frick yeah. Love that. Go into that shadow, my life path 6. It'll just do you some good. Okay, first card out. We'll lay them all out and then we'll talk. 7 of Scrolls, intricacies and industry. That's the 7 of Swords. 3 of Scrolls, setting your course. 3 of Swords. Again, this is different energies, right? 7 of Keys, the Ascendant in reverse. 7 of Pentacles. And the Queen of Roses in reverse, which is the Queen of Cups. Okay, so what I'm getting here is when you're in the shadow aspect, what they're asking you, which you will gain, the lesson that needs to be integrated is finding the intricacies of your own industry, meaning of how you give and take. Like we talked about that whole love energy about knowing how to use your own nurturing ability to its utmost and highest good, you know? So you're setting your course on finding that. There's still work to be done. So it's not here yet, right? You have to really sit in this energy right now. It's not time for you to ascend in this yet. You have to be in it for a minute, like for a minute. So Spirit is saying just keep on track though, because there is some sort of still, they're bringing me back to the family stuff, you know, that there is something that is still in you that you are needing to heal. And I think it has something to do with the divine feminine in your life, meaning that could be a feminine energy. That could be a mother, a grandmother, an older sister, something along those lines that is part of this. That could be the person who feels that you feel that is holding you back or making you second guess your own choices. There's something about that energy that can also be about you trying to break free from a particular patterning that you have been experiencing in your life thus far, you know? Again, but you are trying to find a way to sustain your essence, to sustain your own way of living. So it feels like it can be both. A disconnect from a disconnect from yourself in a way, but to refine the divine feminine energy within you, to figure out your own intricacies of your own industry within yourself, setting the course to ascend. So you're on path to do that. It's just not quite there yet, you know, while you're in this energy. It's going to take some time is what I'm getting at. Cool. Let's get some more. Yeah, December. Look at that. It could be a December. It could be winter seasons. I am filming this in April, the end of April 2022. So again, this is still timeless. So whenever you see this, the next December coming up could be really significant, or a December can be significant. The people related can be significant. Christmas season, if you celebrate that, holiday season, etc. Take that as it resonates. Dolphin, financial gain usually coming from something you did in the past. Boom, setting the course. Setting the course brings you to be able to be your own sustainer, your own nurturer of self. That's awesome. Yeah, buddy. Crown, honor and respect will come to you. Yes, because you will flip this over. The ascent will happen. Woo! Look at that. Success. Boom, shakalaks. That is it. Let's get it. Life Path 6. So like I said, the shadow is where to go to get these type of rewards and gains, you know, and the mastery of being a life path number 6 in this incarnation. Beautiful. Okay, let's see what you need to embrace. The Sage in reverse while you're in the shadow. Yeah, it's sort of like let go of what you think you know. That's what I'm getting from the Sage in reverse when you're in the shadow element, you know? It's like let go of everything and just absorb and rebuild, like I said, by your own hand. Mold what you want to create by your own hands. Releasing what didn't work, but taking the lessons and the reasons why they didn't work for you to create something better. Something to release. This is something to embrace, right? Yeah, something to release. I hope I said that. I keep messing that up. Something to release. Yeah, your strength, your hold on the matter. Again, it's just like forget what you know. Just dive in. They just showed me, dive into the shadow. Dive into your own depths. And then something to think of while you're moving forward with this energy. Frank Sinatra. Everybody looks up to the guy behind the guy. And that's you. It's like you have been like that support system for so many, you know, and I don't think you've probably seen in the way that is respectful to you, how much that is, like how much weight that carries and how much good you've actually already done, even though you've come up against so many boundaries per se, or just emotional hurts, I would say, more than anything. And it says, fly yourself to the moon of your choice. Again, creating by your own hand. Yes, this is coming in. You only get one shot at life, so aim high. That higher perspective. Release into this. Go into the shadow, my life path 6. I'm telling you, this is where you're going to gain the most from this experience in life, on earth, right, in your life path 6. Yeah, just keep putting in the work, and allow release and surrender to it. Again, release what you think you know, dive in, look at, be the observer, create and mold how you want to be again presented to the world, how you're going to give, and knowing when, I can stop now, that beautiful balance of that counselor that knows when. You know, when the person has to do the work, or when I can help coax them to a certain degree, but then I have to stop. You know, that's really what the main issue is here, or the main lesson, I should say, not even issue, the main lesson. This is amazing, my beautiful life path number 6. I hope this was insightful. Let me know your thoughts. Let me know your feelings on what you felt when you received these messages. I hope I get the chance to read for you again. I hope you come back for the part 2 of this series. I'm sending you so much love. Until next time, ciao. Welcome, my life path number 7s. Let's get into your spread, or lay out your cards. This side over here is going to be how to use your strengths, how to master well, the whole reading is about how to master your life path number 7, but how are you using your strengths? What's the lessons needing to be integrated? And on this side is going to be when you go into your shadow side and when we're not at our best. What will be the purpose and the lessons behind that? Some guidance on moving forward and where you're at right now on your journey. Okay, so I'm going to put the shadows over here for now. Okay, my life path number 7s, before we get into the cards, I'm going to read a couple of my notes so we can give you a little bit of a character breakdown, and then we'll get into the reading. The life path 7 is the searcher and the seeker of truth. You have a clear and compelling sense of yourself as a spiritual being. As a result, your goal is devoted to investigations into the unknown and to finding the answers to the mysteries of life. You're well equipped to handle this task. You possess a fine mind. You're an analytical thinker. You're capable of great concentration and theoretical insight. You enjoy research, putting pieces of the puzzle, of an intellectual puzzle, together. You are capable of highly creative insight and of practical solutions to problems. You enjoy your solitude, preferring to work alone. You need time to contemplate your ideas without intrusion of other people's thoughts. You need your space and privacy, which, when violated, can cause you great frustration and irritation. When your life is in balance, however, you are both charming and attractive. You can be the life of the party and you enjoy performing for an audience. But you have distinct limits. While you are generous in social situations, sharing your attention and energy freely, you are keenly aware of the need to come off stage and return to the solitude of your lair. Intimacy is difficult for you because you guard your inner world like a mother lion does her cubs. However, all this privacy and solitude can cause isolation, and loneliness. You can be aware of an emptiness in your life, a part of you that yearns for company and a close companion that might be unsatisfied. If isolation is brought to the extreme, you can become cynical and suspicious. You must guard against becoming too withdrawn and too independent. You must especially watch out for selfishness and egocentricity. Social contact gives you perspective on yourself and on life, while too much isolation can make you too narrow. Secretly, you may feel jealous of the easy relationships formed by others and perceive others as less inhibited than you or more free to express themselves. You may harshly criticize yourself for not being more gregarious and powerful. Your challenge in life is to maintain your independence without feeling isolated or ineffectual. With your abilities to learn, analyze, and seek out answers in life's important questions, you have the potential for enormous growth and success in this life. By the time you reach middle age, you will radiate refinement and wisdom. You may find success or satisfaction in business, science, religion, inventions, the occult, and anything related to research. So my life path number 7s, so we're going to look at how to use your strengths of the life path number 7 to its utmost in this incarnation, Beautiful. We have the siren. It is making me think of what we had just talked about in my notes, of when you're in balance, of being able to be the charming and the charismatic and attractive. It's being able to lure people with your insight, your depth, your spiritual wisdom, your way of being, your different path, your individuality, while still being, like they said, effectual, part of the whole. That's beautiful. It feels very sensual to me. It feels very watery, very like fluid within circumstance, situations. There is a strong divine feminine aspect to this also. And again, making me feel of that seeker of the truth, right? Diving into the depths to find that jewel is what I'm feeling. If you can see that here. Like that fish's tail or the mermaid's tail, you know? Finding that pearl. What is that gem? What is that ruby? Seeking. Alright, let's see what the purpose is. Starseed, self, memories, and identity. And we have the Arcturians, feeling safe, wisdom keepers, and concern. Interesting. So I'm getting from Spirit for my life path number 7s that your main energy of trying to harness using your strength of the siren energy is to, how are you identifying? How are you self-identifying in this world? Meaning that this is maybe the reason why I was saying so fluid and including, or malleable is the word I'm looking for. There's a sense of understanding so many facets of a perspective or a way because of your knowledge, your spiritual knowing, and your need and want for your solitude too makes you very aware and self-reflective on who you are. So I'm feeling that part of your strength and how to use that to the most is, as they said, to keep your self-identity, to keep that individuality while still being a part of this, or including yourself in the whole more often than maybe you would want to, because you're not necessarily feeling seen or heard or understood. I'm getting that as a feeling safe because of this wisdom keeper. There is a concern about how you interact with certain people and how much you give, and how people tend to use that against other people. This is an interesting thing I'm picking up here. They're giving me the saying of being in this world but not of it, and you're trying to find a way to, I feel, trying to root. It feels like you're trying to root here on Earth, and it's difficult for you, it feels like. I hope that makes sense and it's not too out there, but that's what it feels like. It really does. It feels like that purpose is you're trying to root in, finding that balance. Okay, let's see what lesson needs to be integrated. Up in the air. King of Scrolls. Reflection. And the Architect. Beautiful. Okay, so it's very interesting, like it's very up and downy. So exactly as I was saying, is like, it feels like you're trying to root in, like you live in so many different parallels. That's the best analogy I can give you. You can see so many different perspectives and sides that how labels are probably not a thing that you probably enjoy, in all fairness. It's like, I don't know what that is, like I'm so many things. To label myself as one is just limiting, and that's the way that you think. It's not about anything else other than the perspective of the whole, the full cosmic energy and universal knowledge. That is what you are, it's like, how do you describe that to somebody, period? It's just like, I'm just this celestial being. It's like people look at you like you're cuckoo. So it's an interesting feeling. Anyways, I can relate. So up in the air, I'm getting same idea. It's like you are up in the ethers, in your thoughts, very knowledgeable, very wisdom-based, very spiritual, very analytical, practical, all of that. I said self-reflective, looking at the reflection of you, of who you are and your environment. All of it, you take all of it in. And this is the Architect. Now you are trying to ground, literally build from the ground everything that you are, quite literally. Every aspect of you, everything you've learned, every beautiful and ugly and difficult and easy thing, and transmuting it and alchemizing it into the universe you desire, which is difficult. And I can get how finding somebody or a partner that is, can, I guess, trust enough nowadays, to allow that individuality and communion, at the same time. Anyways, okay, interesting. Let's get into some more info about this lesson. finger, warning you of a problem either now or in the near future. Okay, so the lesson to be integrated, right? So needing to really do this. It's like, it's important. It's important. Listen. Yeah, spiritual love, Lily, for sure. Like, this is out of love. They want you to ground here on earth. Unsuccessful plans, not reflection. So that's the reason for the need of the reflection, right? It's like, how am I actually going to be able to ground it? Because maybe thus far I haven't been successful in how I've been feeling, or how I've been connecting, or or the longevity of things, or whatever the case is. Feeling misunderstood or underappreciated, or too much of the weirdo, or too eccentric, too out there, too something. It's always just too something. Then it says hammock, taking a vacation physically or mentally. So taking some time to rest, to build, right? To figure out how you want to build, how you're going to build moving forward within this energy of needing to ground, right? So having the reflection is a part of this unsuccessful plans in the past, right? Because I'm already feeling like this is what's happening. It's not something that we're predicting, it's already present in your life. Okay, beautiful. Okay, let's see what needs to be embraced. How funny is that? The seeker, that is literally who you are. You need to embrace this part of you. This part of you being the oddball, so to speak, or the one with, again, just reminding yourself not to get too egocentrical about certain things, or about knowledge or way of being, or too forceful. So, but again, the point is to embrace embrace the seeker in you, embrace the oddness that you might perceive as possible incompatibility factors or idiosyncrasies that not many people would appreciate. Just allow you to be you, because that's the most beautiful part of your expression. Something to release. Interesting. Patience. This is so funny. It's one of my least favorite words currently right now is patience. Just because it's just one of those things right now. Anyways, but it's so funny. I am getting a sense of you're wanting it now, because you have such a vast, again, brilliant connection to spirit, to people, to life, to everything, that it's a lot, and you're so fast. That's what I'm getting. Like, you're so fast at it that you need to have some more patience for the others who may not be as quick at certain things to recognize, to witness, to see their own patterns or foibles. It's patience. So release your hold on the speed and the need for things now. That's what I'm getting the most from patience. It can also be releasing your shyness, in a sense, like of you pulling back, of you just expressing and allowing yourself to be out there and fully seen. It can totally be that also. Okay, beautiful. And something to think about moving forward in your strengths while you learn this. This should just be to lighten up the energy, should connect. Joni Mitchell. Learn to write in your own blood. Again, being who you are, showing who you are, being fully expressive. Some things need confessing, others are better left unsaid. So again, who to share with, who not to share with, how to integrate that, all the beautiful, all the bad that we talked about, how we're building. Beautiful. Never lose sight of the miraculous. And that's right. I don't think you have at all, by any means. They're just allowing you to, they're wanting you to keep the magic alive while you are actively participating in this stillness. That's beautiful. Okay, awesome, my life path number 7. Let us go into the shadow side. All right, so we are looking at when and if you manipulate the energy or not in your best or in your shadow elements, what will be the main energy? Thanatos. It's perfectly fitting for a life path number 7, you know, Thanatos being death. It's just not that simply just about transformation. It's this ever evolving cycle of life, the gift of life. You know, this beautiful witnessing and initiation into the underworld. It is either way for you, my spiritual seeker, my, you know, seeker of knowledge, my life path number 7. This is a necessary process for you. Like, absolutely, of you needing to be able to be initiated into the underworld, understand the shadow. Again, coming back to so many facets and parallels of universes or understanding of knowledge that is already ingrained in your DNA. It is who you are. And then you are already, if not already, a seeker of this in your present reality. So the purpose of this is going into the depths of this the necessity to understand the shadow of the self. And you do that with that reflection. You go back and you look and you fix and you alchemize what could be better. Okay, let's see the purpose. Andromedans, autonomy, perfect, free will, and manifestation. Exactly. Your own personal autonomy, knowing who you are. You wouldn't be able to find that without that. The free will to be able to explore and manifest, create the architect, create the destiny, the world, the environment you want to be present in. Then we have, like I said, alchemy, the philosopher's stone, infinity, destiny, and magic. Like, this couldn't be more perfect. Like, literally everything we've already talked about. This is exactly the purpose, the whole thing to encompass and find your mastery of your life path number 7. Going into the shadow is a necessity for you. And very useful and very enlightening. It allows you to find the confidence and the power or the ability to lead oneself more freely, more courageously, more confidently. Let's see what lessons need to be integrated. When you're in the shadow, elements. On track, 1 of scrolls in reverse. Three of keys, the chess game. Seven of keys, the ascent. Two of roses, winged messengers. When you're in the shadow. They're saying when you go into the shadow to not get off track, to not lose your strategy of the reason why you're there. It is not a place for anybody to just be continuously living in, is what I'm getting the most off. That you do need to ascend and come out of that energy, but being mindful of, again, this is when you're in the shadow, when you do come out of that energy, to have a little bit more, they're giving me a sense of you might feel a little jaded coming out of it, being like, almost like, why did I have to go through it that way when everybody else seems to just be easy peasy breezy lemon squeezy? You know, like that's the energy that I'm getting. And it's, don't feel the jadedness or bitterness of the process of what got you to your personal enlightenment, because your journey is different. You are the seeker of truth. Truth is not always sweet. But if that is what we are seeking, we have to be ready for the truth. And sometimes that truth needs to be learnt, absorbed, witnessed, felt, to be fully understood, for you to truly be able to alchemize and build a better, you know, in whatever sense of better that is for you. Better you. I also feel like you'll be able to bring things into harmony better also. As long as you don't get jaded by, you know, maybe the lack of effort of everybody else in your opinion. I do feel like you're a beautiful mediator, again, to alchemize, to change, to transform, to manifest, to allow people to see their own source of wisdom in themselves, their own light, their own strength, to be able to reflect and look at oneself, to see the miraculous. Beautiful. Okay, let's get some more context or some more meat. The scroll. Hand in need of help, assistance, and guidance. So that's 2 fingers, 2 hands on this portion. Warning you of a problem either now, which we've already talked about, and this here being on track, in reverse, in need of help and assistance. So they're reminding you just to, if you need somebody to keep you in check or accountable, or to, you know, not let you get swept in there. Maybe it is a guided teacher, a guidance from an elder, or something along those lines. If you're really trying to dive into those kind of like super deep celestial type of personal soul journeys, definitely get some sort of guide to help you. Don't go about doing that on your own. That's what I'm getting. Gong. An exciting event. Yeah. So it's like, hold on. They said hold on. Okay. Okay, boom. Eagle, triumph over troubles and obstacles. Feather, someone you know is undependable and insincere. Maybe this is interesting. Okay. There's this interesting feeling that I'm getting. It's like, I'm not sure if I'm getting a feeling of you going into the shadow, or going into your shadow work, or doing the work on the self, you know, your own spiritual path of stuff. And I'm almost getting like there's a roadblock, or there's like an ending to it, that I'm getting like a gong show. This is making me look like a freaking slap, and then I'm hearing gong show. You know, it's like, who would want to stay in this for this long? Like, I get the purpose. This is what I'm feeling, you know? I get the purpose of the need for this, but who would want to stay here? It's almost like those, like, it's almost like you allow yourself, this is a hypothetical example, like you go into study, like I have friends that have different types of, you know, things going on in their life, and sometimes I'm like really curious as to like how better to help them, and I will look up something that I'm like, maybe this one might be a better useful tool, either to communicate or to offer as a suggestion, or whatever the case is. So I dive into something that I may not have been privy to without my friend being in my life, for them to expose me to some certain something, right? This feels, as an example I'm giving, it's like, let's say for example you decide to like go into like a really deep dive of some kind, and really like do a real hard channeling or meditation on the energies, and tap into whatever the case is. And you go into this area of where you know somebody is like mentally putting themselves living, and you experience that, and you're like, okay, I get the value of this, but this is not somewhere somebody should be living. Somebody should be staying. This is a transitional tool. This is not somebody setting up home. You know, like this is what I'm getting. And it's like, no matter, there's been like the way that you've been helping sometimes, I feel like it's almost been received as like, I guess they're bringing it back to this egocentric in a way, when it's not. It's sort of just like, this doesn't make sense to me. That's what I'm getting. And it's like someone you know is undependable and insincere. It's like, when I was getting this, like this jaded feeling, this is what I'm feeling from this. It's like a person who continuously complains about the same thing over and over again, and you give them so many multiple different ways to help, solutions or whatever the case is, and they still keep going back. It's like that. It's that energy that you're like, I understood what that was like. I even allowed myself to experience it in a way for you, and I can't stay here. So I can only offer you a certain amount. So there's something about learning how to teach the lessons being taught in the shadow to you. I hope this is making sense. I know this is like a long-winded explanation, but I wanted you to really get the gist of like the realization of what you discover about being in the shadow, and about other people who allow, no disrespect, we allow ourselves to stay in certain states of being by our thoughts, by our emotional makeup, by our environment, but it's still an allowance. I'm not being disrespectful, and it is not an easy pill to swallow, but it is true. And sometimes it may not be the choices we want, but we still do have a choice, one or the other. And do we accept it? Meaning that if I can't leave my environment, am I allowing myself to really sap in all of these words. You know, is this my truth? No, I can choose to put that particular barrier around or outside so that it's not affecting the essence of who I am. But I can learn this lesson to be better, to have more patience, to be my true authentic self, to see who's not dependable and who's insincere. So I triumph, I ascend over my troubles. I can recognize now, I can see who's not sincere, who's not on our team, who's not on the team, you know, who's not on the team. Let's put it that way. Who just is choosing to be a version of themselves they're not ready to fully own up to. Maybe you just need people who are straight up, plain and simple, this is who I am. Take me, you know? And I feel like you're discovering that as you continue to grow and mature. Okay, something to embrace. Yeah, the weaver, that you are this weaver. The weaver of your own destiny. This beautiful weaver of the cycles of life and death. This alchemist, you know, this reflective, beautiful, autonomous, magical, wisdom-keeping, beautiful person. So allow yourself to merge with whatever you find in this journey. Keep adding and building, keep ascending, and keep humbling and rebuilding and rebuilding. It's like once you get more from the celestial, you have to build more from the ground so that there's like a meeting place in the middle. That's the best way I can show it to you as they're showing it to me. Okay, what to release? Interesting. To taking risks. So maybe there's something about releasing the need to go to some of the extremes that you may go to, my life path number 7. You know, of you don't need to go all that to that extreme in some cases. I don't think it's for all, but in some, you know, allow yourself to just trust in a sense that there is no risk needed or the perception of risk doesn't exist to some degree or another. That's pretty cool. All right. Something to look forward to, or something to keep in mind, excuse me. Probably going to connect to this. Bob Dylan, While You're in the Shadow. Beautiful. Nostalgia is for two-time losers. So again, this is bringing me back to like, this is no place for somebody wanting to live. Like, who wants to live in this shadow, in this dark, in this melancholy, in this bitterness? You know? Nobody does. So let's get out of this. Like, why would you prefer to be there instead of wanting to heal this? This is your train of thought. Don't mistake that mansion on the hill for paradise. Boom shakalaks. It's not always greener on the other side. The perspectives, right? All of the other things. And again, maybe that's for you too. You know, feeling that criticizing yourself for, you know, not being so easy to find that harmony and that companion with. It's not always just the best relationships just because they're easily compatible. You're looking for something deeper, something more, something real. Not to say that theirs isn't real, but real for you is way different than most. You know? It's a real true vulnerability of the self, and not very many people either know how to or are capable of doing that, but you can find them because there is somebody out there for you. Even these colors match, there is. Darkness may be falling, but we're not there yet. See? Exactly. Of course it's falling, but we're not at this death cycle just yet. This incarnation has not been completed. This life path 7 has not been fully mastered yet. So when I master this to the best of my capabilities in this incarnation, then we can go take another roundabout, you know, and weave another thread or picture of this tapestry we call life. Oh man. So my beautiful life path number 7s, how to master it is to finding your own personal boundaries, for one, so that you're not taking full extremes, to trust in your own knowledge, to not get jaded by your difficulties or your obstacles that you have to go through in the way that you have to learn your particular spiritual lessons. Allow yourself to truly be to truly be expressive and transparent with who you are in a safe environment. Allow yourself to find different ways to communicate with all of this beautiful knowledge and wisdom that you have gained through your past and as you will continue as you get older. knowing that this is all leading you to the mastery of who you are. So continue to embrace your beautiful autonomy, manifest the life you desire, and love how you choose to love. I'm sending you so much love, my beautiful beautiful Life Path 7s. I hope that you come back for the part 2 of this numerology series when I do post that. I'm sending you so much love. Keep watering your lives, my beautiful budding beauties. Ciao. Welcome, my Life Path number 8. So we're going to have 2 separate sets of cards. One side is going to talk about the strengths and how you use your Life Path number 8 to allow yourself to get to mastering of the Life Path number 8. And the side over here is going to be about the shadow aspects. When we go into and fall into our shadow aspects, what are the lessons to be learned? Same thing, to allow us to master our Life Path number 8 in this incarnation. So I'm going to lay out your cards first. I'm going to put these guys at the side. Before we get into your actual spread, I'm going to look at my notes and I'm going to read some of my notes about the characteristics and some of the characteristics or your character breakdown of a Life Path number 8. Life Path number 8s are gifted with natural leadership and the capacity to accumulate great wealth. You have a great talent for management in all areas of life, especially in business and financial matters. You understand the material world. Intuitively, you know what makes virtually any enterprise work. Your talent lies not with the bookkeeping or petty management, but with the greater vision, its purpose, and its long-range goals. You are a visionary and a bit reckless. You possess the ability to inspire people to join your quest, but often they are incapable of seeing what you see. You must prod them into action and direct them along the lines of your vision. You attract financial success more than any other life path, but effort is required. Your challenges in life are to achieve a high degree of detachment and to understand that power and influence must be used for the benefit of mankind. Those who do not understand this, or the real relative value of money, are bound to suffer the consequences of greed. They run the risk of losing it all. You have the character and resilience of a true survivor, however. You may experience major reverses, including bankruptcy and financial failure, but you also have the talent and the sheer guts to make more than one fortune and to build many successful enterprises. More than most people, your failures in marriage can be extremely expensive for you. Despite the difficulties in your present life, you will experience the satisfaction that comes from material wealth and the power that comes with it. Business, finance, real estate, science, particularly history and archaeology and physics, may be very nice vocations for you. You are naturally attracted to positions of influence and leadership. You are a good judge of character. Most 8s like large families, and they sometimes tend to keep others dependent longer than necessary. The desire for luxury and comfort is especially strong in you. Status is very important. You must be careful to avoid living above your means. Your life path treads the dangerous ground where power lies and can corrupt. You may become too self-important, arrogant, and domineering, thinking that your way is the only way. This leads inevitably to isolation and conflict. And the people you run the risk of hurting the most are usually the loved ones in your family and friends. These characteristics may be born early in the life of a Life Path 8. They often learn these negative traits after suffering under a tyrannical parent or a family burdened by representative, religious, or intellectual dogmas. Life Path 8s possess a strong physique, which is a symptom for their inherent strength and resilience to create the life they desire. So my Life Path number 8s, it feels as if these are some of these things that we need to look out for, an ability to gain wealth and abundance and material wealth specifically, but allowing oneself to not get too caught up in a tyrannical behavior, either with oneself or with others, and just being mindful of staying grounded and connected. Okay, let's see what the main energy is when it comes to the strengths of your Life Path 8. Yeah, very fitting. Holding that vision, right? The vision to create, like that they said, like that enterprise of anything successful will be possibly involved with a life path number 8. You have a beautiful vision, a way of thinking and looking at things. You have a great wisdom too within you, and you find the solutions to problems very easily. So they're asking you to continue to hold that vision to that eternal light, that beautiful source light that is within you. That wisdom, source wisdom, they said. Okay, let's see the purpose. Yeah, talk about grounding, right? The earth element, survival, adaptable, and reliable. So they're wanting you to make this, like we talked about in the beginning, is rooting and grounding in this vision to stay grounded. You are the survivor, you know, you have been and are adaptable. Even though you might go through difficulties, you are meant to have the success and the sustainability within your efforts. As long as you learn how to, like they said, you know, mediate the parts of you that go to certain extremes when it comes to rigidity or way of being. Grace, short, timid, misunderstood, and shy. I'm getting the feeling of not allowing your power to, again, the tyrannical behavior of taking dominance over somebody in some capacity, whether that be because of position in hierarchy or any other reason for that matter. So part of your strength is knowing how to bring together and harmonize with the best approach to have everything move in the direction needed, as in your vision. You know how they said that it'll be difficult. Sometimes people can't see it the way you see it. So it's about, how do I ground in this energy to allow the people that I am leading or probing or prompting to do, you know, to get on my team and support the cause. I have to be a little bit more understanding, a little bit more conscious of my approaches. That's what I'm getting. Okay, let's see what lesson needs to be integrated. We have the 8 of Roses, Shanghai community. The Scribe, number 12. Two of Keys, the Treasure in reverse. And Caught in the Ruins. Spirit is giving me the sense that the lesson that needs to be integrated is how, again, talking about this community of how to bring things in together with the knowledge and wisdom that you already have. It's almost like it can feel patronizing or condescending in some instances, possibly the way that you approach something or the way that you deal with certain specific things that are of importance to your cause, that it comes across in a way that's not received well, and it leaves you unable to really manifest or get to that treasured ideal, and sort of leaves you in the ruins. Like there's something about the strength of this, is the lesson needing to be learned is, how do I do this better? So coming back to the reason, the purpose, and this is how it gets played out, sort of, is what I'm getting for you guys, my Life Path 8s. It's like sort of rejecting a community in a sense because of your wisdom and knowledge, not being able to see the benefit or the treasure within the community in some way, of releasing some of your way of being, or your way is the right way, that it imprisons you. It keeps you in a place where people can't reach you, so to speak, or can't attain to the way that you would want it. So there's a need for an allowance of more in the vision, is what I'm getting. Yeah, there needs to be a better plan to integrate for this vision to come to light, to be rooted, to be earthed, to be grown, to blossom. Let's see some more context or some more meat about this. Ram, a stubborn, aggressive person, and I think that might be you, my Life Path number 8. In certain situations, of course, not in all, but this could be a part of you, and the earth is also Taurus, Ram, you know, like there's also that. They're making me think of Taurus and Aries, you know, like I know Aries isn't an earth sign, but they're bringing me to that type of energy, stubborn, forceful, in certain specific moments where, again, when it has something to do with the cause of the reason behind things, knowing that this is the way that I want this to progress, nothing else can fall out of this pattern or this writing or this script here. I hope I'm making sense. My words feel all jumbled with you guys too. I feel energy is like very like sporadic. Leg, stepping into a new experience. Okay. October. Tankard, celebration, fun, enjoyment. Yeah, I feel like it's you. I feel like you need to release some of some of your stubbornness when it comes to a specific area in your life, or multiple, depending on how this resonates in your life, of stepping into a new way of using your knowledge and your experience and your vision to allow the change is what I'm getting more from October. October could be significant in any spectrum, birthday, a season change, when something happened, when things could occur, when things didn't occur, whatever the case is, you take that as that resonates. But I'm feeling it as in a change to get to where you want to, which is a celebration and fun and enjoyment of everybody on the same page, moving towards the same goal, with the same intentions, with the same sort of energy and input towards that purpose, you know? It's because it's about the work for you and about the wealth and about the building of it. So how to get there is about community for you a little bit more than I think you are allowing that into your environment to help you succeed in the goal that you're seeking or in the purpose or in your cause. Something you need to embrace. Reflect. I think they're asking you to reflect on the behaviors or your patterns or your way of approaching things. That's what I'm getting the most. Something for you to really reflect on is what was being spoken about here. How do you relate to this possibly in some area of your life, and how you may be dealing with certain things, or maybe have you been the feeling misunderstood and timid and haven't been allowing yourself to show your own vision, to root it because you feel stifled by something. But it feels more so like this is about you, right? So your strength. So the strength is being able to do all of this, but the lesson needing to be integrated for you to be able to master that strength is this. It's about the community of coming together, of reflecting on this. Something to release. Reclaim. It's like releasing the strength, releasing the power, releasing the hold, reclaiming almost the vulnerability and reclaiming your ability to evolve, to release the hold on something that still is structurally sound and works, but what else could we add to it? Can I reclaim some more of the spiritual knowledge? Can I allow them to claim themselves too? So everybody's contributing equally. Okay, something to keep in mind as you move forward with these energies, probably going to connect. And also, they're making me think of reclaiming any former glory you may have had if you've ever lost anything. So if things didn't work out, it's like there's always going to be a way for you to come back. That's what they said. There's always multiple opportunities for you to make your fortune. So don't despair when things don't work out. It's just keep moving to find a better way. Okay. Tina Turner. It's not what happens that matters. It's how you deal with it. Exactly what I was getting at. Perfect. Purge your life of whatever brings you down. So this is what you're figuring out. This is what this reflection is about, is for you to figure out what is bringing me down, that I can't complete this in the way I want, or so that I don't have these financial pitfalls that are so drastic. The most beautiful lotus blooms in the deepest mud. Yeah, with the trials and tribulations, something miraculous and beautiful always blooms out of that strife or out of that friction. You know, and that is what you are doing, is strengthening the strength of the Life Path 8 to get to the mastery of that. Amazing, my beautiful Life Path 8. Let's look into your shadow side now. Okay, so shadow aspect, main archetype, the animal. I heard savage. That's what they said. You get savage in a sense where the darker sides of the tyrannical and authoritative or utilitarian, conquering, hunter, like it's survival, like it's straight raw carnage is what I'm getting. Like, whoa. That's what they're showing me. Like that's sort of the energy that you would be in, that it becomes so bloodthirsty in a sense that you end up missing the picture, which allows for more of these downfalls, or personality traps that we allow ourselves to repeat because our ego tends to want to be a little bit louder than it should be at times. Okay, let's see the purpose. Interesting. I'm also getting this rawness for life again. It's like to lose everything. It's sort of to be that feral animal again. To allow yourself to lose all of these constructs and restrictions and boundaries and way of being. There's both. So again, we're looking at the benefits of these shadows too, regardless, because there's always going to be a lesson for us to learn in whatever aspect or area we are in. Okay, let's see the purpose. Palladian, unconditional love, excitement, and laughter. Yeah, I think you're going to learn a different way of being. Again, this rawness, this organic way of simplicity, of loving everything, of a different type of appreciation. But again, it feels still like a little bit of an obsession that you might go there, into that extreme. I wonder what this says. Third eye, visions, manifesting, meditation. Okay. So maybe that's the focus that I'm getting, that there's something that is fully, how do I word this? I'm hearing there will be, when you're in the shadow, clear sight of how to readjust the previous way of going about success and abundance. You will find the beauty in the small things, be more connected and earthed and grounded. Your visions will be clearer. Your manifestations will be faster. Your laughter will be louder. Aw, that's beautiful. Channel message for you guys. Aw. So it does feel strongly that Spirit is asking you to really reflect, about that vision, about your own strengths, about the way that you approach certain things, about where you're rigid with yourself or with certain areas in your life. Break it down to the animal, to the raw, to the simplicity. Okay, let's see what lesson needs to be integrated in this shadow. I'm going to lay them all out first. Hilarion. In reverse. Will, wisdom, and mind in reverse. Five of Scrolls, diversity. And the Muse, number 15, in reverse. They're saying that once you allow yourself to truly immerse in the shadow or in the elements of learning the lesson while you're in this place of probably uncomfortability, you probably won't be very receptive to other than spirit. So they're asking you to meditate more, but they are wanting you to hear what they are saying to upgrade your will, the wisdom that you already hold within your mind, to diversify and to find the different approaches like we talked about for better communication, better delivery, better manifestation, so that you're no longer needing sort of external muses or inspiration outside of yourself or your own source divine wisdom to get things done or to find inspiration for the next cause or purpose. There's something about owning up to what you actually have to offer and how you are using that particular power. They're bringing me back to the notes about how are you using your power and wealth or abundance for the benefit of mankind. There is more of a need coming back to community. There's more of a need for that, and I feel like when you go into that shadow side, the need for meditation will allow the Solarian message to come on the upright, which means that you will be fully attuned and listening to your spirit guides, to the earth elements, to your own higher wisdom, to bring in this back upwards, to strengthen the will, to fortify your wisdom, to expand the mind, to understand the lessons of what you went through, to know where your own muses are, which is within you and source. Beautiful. Okay, let's get some more meat. We have Mule. Someone is extremely stubborn and unwilling to change. See? This is why Hilarions in reverse. You have that twice. That is definitely for you then. So this is what they're saying. You're going to be resistant to it, so they're asking you to meditate. Owl. Good advice from a wise person. You have owls out here too. Owls, you have a ram, you have a mule, you have birds. There's a lot of animals in your reading right now. Spirits. Earth. Yeah, there's something about rooting and grounding in nature. Consistently. Animals. Again, rooster. An arrogant, boastful person you should not cross. Diversity. Again, understanding people. Understanding where, maybe this is where I was getting that carnage and that, that gets too focused on something that we miss the compassionate understanding and opening of the eye. Brew, new home, new attitude. There it is. It's a new perspective, a new home in self. That's how you master that shadow. Is for you to take on this advice, to take on the different aspects, the different perspectives of how to live and how to go about things, knowing when to be the observer and when to be the leader sometimes, even though you take better to these roles of leadership, but you need to learn how to be maybe more equipped with a team. You need to play more as a team member to strengthen that particular tool or skill set. Beautiful. Something you need to embrace. The universe. Yeah, embrace the universe's knowledge. Embrace all it has to offer. All this elemental energy that you have here so much. Embrace what you are experiencing, what you're seeing. I was talking about being that observer. Beautiful. What to release. How you've been manifesting in the past. That's what they said. It's a different way of approaching this manifestation because your vision is clearer. I don't remember fully what I said in the channeling, but something along those lines. Okay, awesome. Something to think about moving forward while you're in the shadow energy. Probably going to connect with manifest. Beyonce, boom. Confidence can be the most powerful aphrodisiac. Be both everywhere and nowhere at once, and that's that universal energy of understanding your own will, power, and strength and using it for the highest good for all. When someone sings from the heart, don't go tone deaf. And that's that compassionate with the community, understanding the others, being a little bit more malleable in certain areas where you might find yourself to be a little too rigid or not getting the full end goal or the full accomplishment of a task because something doesn't end up staying compatible. Okay, my beautiful life path number 8s. I hope that was insightful and gave you some interesting information about yourself. I would love to hear your comments. That would be much appreciated. I am sending you so much love. Keep watering your lives. Until next time, this is Lotus. Ciao.